discussion on number 2.
Okay, I'm currently recording right now, so we have an active recording going on.
That works.
But I'm going to post this up in here. I'm just going to reiterate the questions. What is the poly count? What would you like for the assets? Will there be any necessary animations? Do I know if I spelled anything right? No. If it is animated, yeah, I didn't spell that right either. Do the pieces need to be together? Camera disabled box number pad system? Question mark with that. With camera animation, would you want the camera to point down when powered down? What aesthetic do you all want for the UI? Do you want actual flashing lights for the camera and or disable box? How fancy do you want the fish tank to be, and how low poly can the fish be? As of right now, do we have any other questions for the designers?
We'll probably think of more eventually. We still haven't decided about these questions, don't we?
And Vixay, you're doing the elite guard, right?
Yes, I am.
I do know that it was stated previously by Patrick how the elite guard turns out, so I can use this model as base for the other characters. So I'm also doing 2 other characters.
Okay.
Do we want to base it off of?
We started talking around 7:21 p.m. Eastern time.
Can I make a new notepad? See if Excel actually pops up for me. Let's see here. It is 07-2. And you said what time Eastern?
7:21 Eastern time at PM.
18:21 p.m. on Wednesday. Okay.
And then I don't know when we're exactly going to end. If we're going to call it at a certain time. Usually I stop homework around 10.
Okay. I am central, so I'm kind of okay to always work until later. I don't work until usually about 7:30 in the morning. So, let's see here.
I also woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning because I was extremely excited.
Vixay, did you download their FPX as a sample for the size of the character?
Oh, by the way, my name is Vixay. It's pronounced Vixay, but you guys just call me V for nicknames to keep it simple.
V works. Okay. V, did you download the FPX from Trello?
No. What do they have that listed at?
Okay, so in the Trello cards, it's in the Trinity job, and then right in the middle, it'll have SKM Quinn simple.
Okay.
And I would assume that's their size reference. I'm assuming here. I'm not for sure.
Okay.
You could also list off the things that we've decided so far on who's doing what, just so we have like an updated list so far, because I think the other team members who are not here can at least watch that as well.
Okay. So
who are missing, by the way? Who's
should
not
be
here?
just Patrick, right?
Patrick, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Right, meet the team should be just Patrick. Yeah. Okay. So we have Patrick as the drill, and then I think character 1. Is that what we're doing here? What are you saying? Other characters. So I put him as character 1. Him and I can swap whatever works here. I'm not really picking on either character, but he has main character and drill. I have secondary character 2 janitor and character 2 guard. Elizabeth has asset 4, which is the disable box. Asset 5, which is the toilet. And then asset 6, which is, don't know how to pronounce that, the egg. How do you pronounce that?
Fabergé.
Okay. And then V has asset 3, which is security camera, and also the secondary character 1, elite guard. And then Trinity has asset 1, screwdriver. Asset 10, the dinosaur skeleton display. And then also asset 9, the Q rope. We still have to assign. Technically, these are assigned, so we can move this over.
Yeah.
And then asset 7 and 8.
Everybody has to work on number 7 at least.
Yeah. So in this description, it says this will be a planning board placed in the safe house for the player to select the job he is doing. The board will have each level or job on it, and the player will interact with the board to select a level. Around each level should be a black and white surveillance picture of that site and planning notes and blueprints. This does not animate. This will be seen up close. Okay, so that eliminates. Well, I mean, we asked the question if they'd want to animate like the job selection, because most self jobs have like an animation on their like pictures, but it is what it is on that one.
And then some of the items in there were characters that were shown on the board, and some of the items. So I have to make sure that I get at least my I'm not gonna say that again. I'm gonna say I need the egg in.
Mm-hmm. And then the camera as well, and I think also
Probably the characters.
And some of the characters.
Profile pictures.
Yeah. So that one, I know pretty much. I think I have to do it, and then you, and then what does Trinity have again? Does she have to put anything in it? She's doing Q-Row, the dinosaur, and then what was the last one?
I mean, I guess I can help out with the aquarium part, since I feel like Trinity has a lot on her plate right now.
Well, here comes another issue, is they want the fish to be not high quality, but at least swimming in the tank. So we now have to animate them swimming in water in this tank. It will be relatively seen up close. They gave us like different ideas for fish tanks.
Right.
But that's a complete different design than this, which this is just a fish tank you put on your tabletop. And this one's like at like a bar or something. So
I feel like they'll like more the theme of like the first image, because I feel like the theme of the game, they're trying to go for like a 007, and that looks more like sophisticated in my opinion.
This one, okay.
Yeah.
You know, them if they want specific parts of each image reference that they've had. So like combining pieces.
And this is just a simple low poly, like something I just created in literal like seconds. Like is this something like they're wanting to go for, like this low poly, and then we could just simple texture it, or are they wanting something a little bit more actual sophisticated where it's actually looks like an actual fish? Because they said in their Trello card, not high quality. How low quality are we talking? Are we talking like a plane that just literally has enough edges in it to be able to be animated, and it's just an alpha on it? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like what's the scale of like how big they actually want this fish tank to be too? They really.
And this was a rough estimate. That's the character that you can download, and this is like if I did a double-sided, like the base and then like the actual fish tank.
And I think they also said that they wanted scalable so that they can adjust the size of the fish tank too.
But not the fish. Yes, that is correct. So let's click back on it. Yeah. If possible, allow for the tank to be scaled without scaling the fish. So that in itself is simple. You just don't put these together.
Combine them.
Yeah. So it'd be just childed, right? The fish would be childed to the tank, and it shouldn't affect it. Right, so if I click here, and then Control P. No. What is that? Is it?
I think it's P. Control P.
Parent.
And then child.
I should be able to just. Oh God, nope. That's. What is the file? No. Create. No. Select. I haven't done this in a while. Oh no. I know I've done this. Oh my God.
So I'm looking on Google right now. Apparently, you have to go to the edit panel, and it should be an option called parent in there. That's a lot.
Oh, it's just literal P. There's no Control P. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so. Oh, why is it? There we go. Okay, so if I scale this. Yeah, okay, so you can. It had to be parented to the tank itself. Okay. See if it's. Okay, so we're good there. But it's. I don't know. So that was just an example of like size, and I don't want to do that. There we go.
I think you'd also need like more variants of fish types and silhouettes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree. So, but what type of fish are they wanting? Want just goldfish in there with a couple like.
Imagine if we did a shark in there.
I was gonna say that.
We can pitch the idea. I mean, creating a shark, it depends what type of shark you want to do. It depends on how hard you want to make it on yourself. But again, that also would depend on the size of the tank. Say we did this and we made it.
There are smaller sharks that are like the size of fish, though.
Tiger shark is this rather smaller one, and then
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I know there's a smaller one. She said that there's a smaller one. What is smaller sharks?
Oh,
Dwarf
man,
lantern
what the heck is
shark.
that? What the heck?
So
is
technically,
that?
you could do something like this,
That's adorable.
you know. But I mean, at that point, you could just make a catfish. But you know,
Ooh, yeah, there we go.
I don't know. A hammerhead.
Did
probably wouldn't be
anyone
bad.
try like adding like one of the designers into this call so they know what's going on and the ideas we're trying to pitch for them?
I think they were.
Well, Chris is on. He's one of ours. He's at least online. I don't know if he's actively in the.
I think you might be able to get a hold of him if somebody DMs him.
Who else is in this group? So it's Eternal, Kyle, and Birchfield. So Birchfield's
Because
not online, but Eternal and Chris are.
Here.
So if I add Chris and
Because
add.
if we get them in sooner, we could start working on it sooner.
Yeah.
Okay, I just added them in the Discord. See if they can at least hop in, maybe. Like a hammerhead wouldn't be a horrible design to do low poly. But I don't know. That's up to someone, whoever wants to make the fish. But also another question would be how many fish too.
You could always search up a rough estimate and do a human size next to size of fish, and should have a rough estimate at least.
On the size of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. How many fish do you want in the tank? Okay, that sizing it wouldn't be too bad because like here, you could just kind of size it. I know this is a really rough draft, but
It's decent.
Oh, that's good.
He's typing.
like you don't want to fish this big either.
Chris.
Oh.
Hey, woo! We're getting questions answered. All right, I have to go talk to some kids that are in my front yard. I will be back. The recording's still live. I'm gonna mute my mic, so ask away.
Okay.
Oops.
Ideas come from the Trello board.
What's that?
Ideas come from the Trello board.
Yeah. I mean, then again, it is a medium asset, or a potato is what they call it. So it's not totally necessary if you don't really complete it, but for the most part. Go ahead.
Under notification. What was the red notification?
High meat.
Yeah.
Another question would have to be, can you work on the assets together? If it calls for it.
I think. That's a good
Because
question.
they did say that you can always pass it off, but I don't know if they're allowing you to do it all together and be like, oh yeah, the images came from here, and the items came from here.
Mm-hmm.
We were all working on this piece because we didn't know how to feel about it.
Yeah.
Do you want us to have one person doing it? Are we trying to go for consistency where everybody has this like one person do just this one thing because everybody has their own style of doing it?
Correct. Yeah. I don't know if they want like the same height for like all like the character assets. 'Cause I know specifically they want like the elite one to be a certain height. Uh,
Oh, we only have 2 items left. Everything's assigned
hell yeah.
besides those 2 items, the fish tank and the heist board. Unless I need to refresh it and it's just my imagination.
No, you're right. We just got 2 more to deal with there.
It'll make the developers' jobs and the designers' jobs a little bit easier. Knowing that everything's already set before then, and all questions are already asked. Or at least most of them until they come up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hello.
It's oh,
wait, what did I just click on?
Who just joined? Wait,
I
what?
don't know. I'm not watching. I keep hearing blips, and I'm a little out of it.
Wait,
Who's Eternal Eden? Who's
Sorry, that's me. I'm
One of our new
Andrew.
players,
welcome Patrick.
hello.
Andrew.
I don't know why the server doesn't have my name updated yet. Let me see about that.
In what? Like in the Discord?
In the Discord, it's usually updated automatically, but
Yeah, it's weird too, cause like I'm not really listed too in the artists. Like I see everyone else, but I'm not in there either. I don't know what happened.
more options. There we go. Oh, it's gonna. Is it gonna make me get nitro? Okay, no. Okay, there we go. Hey, that's better.
Oh, Andrew. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you said your name was Patrick.
We're coming up with a bunch of questions. We just gotta wait for Joseph to get back so we can see them.
Okay. I know Chris is also gonna be on too.
Now we wait.
Wait.
Um, 2
So they
assets
don't.
left.
Oh,
What?
I was to say they didn't want to start working on the projects yet, or are we?
No, we're working
Not yet.
Okay, because I haven't
because I know
started yet either.
like don't start anything before you talk to everybody in the group before assigning and just working ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't want us to do that before we at least ask questions.
I will try my best to answer them. I've kind of been out of the loop. I was sick for 4 days, and I slept through all of them.
Oh,
What did I miss?
oh, you're back. All right, Joseph. Yeah, so we got Andrew and now Christopher, the designers.
Yeah.
So they both feel that I guess answered all questions. So.
Okay, so Andrew is the. He was the
Designer. Yeah.
What was his name that I added in the? So I know. Oh, he changed his name. Okay, so Andrew's the eternal one, right? Eden.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on the same page now. Okay. So have we said anything to them? Like what's
No,
going
we were
on?
just waiting for you, Joseph, to come
Okay.
back.
All right. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah.
Oh, do I need to pop up questions? Okay. Do you want me to read them, or do you guys want to kind of ask them, or what's the plan?
You could read them if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it, man.
What is the poly count you would like for the assets?
I know our file size is already a little big, so kind of just the minimal.
Minimal.
Okay.
I don't I'm not too sure about specific number.
Might have to ask the teacher.
Yeah, we'll ask her and kind of get the clarification what minimal would be on like most assets. I'm gonna skip a question here. We're gonna go here to here to here. On where is the lovely little egg? Okay. On the egg, you have 3 different styles here. Are you wanting to combine, or are you wanting just? Is this just a reference and we have full creativity?
Um,
I think
yeah.
I'm supposed
So
to answer this.
yeah, I got it. So as far as the egg goes, those are just three different like examples of like Fabergé eggs. So it's just you don't really have to combine them. It's more just like these are like what they kind of look like, just so you had an idea. I give you guys the creativity to make a expensive looking Fabergé egg that kind of follows that theme.
Okay.
How in the world did you spell that? Where is that at?
I'm
How to
pretty sure
spell
one of
what?
the E's is supposed to be accented.
Yeah, the last E has an accent over it.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, with I think Elizabeth pronounced it with the fancy thing over it. I don't know if my keyboard set up to do that, so we kind of figured she figured that's how you pronounced it. They can be
I can't say no.
can I speak in typing? The egg can be up to the artist, but has to be Fabergé. My other question with the egg that's going to pertain to the artist doing the egg, which I think is Elizabeth.
Yep.
On the texture set, I know we're trying to shoot for basic colors, but if you're wanting this to be kind of like a hero asset or one that's going to be like kind of really important, super shiny, would you want to have like roughness metallic on it to make it actual shine like you have in the Trello cards? Because that's what allows us to really kind of edit the textures, be able to actually, make it shine
Add
and
the
pop.
glossiness.
Yeah.
Make it pop.
I would, yeah, I would definitely like it to look like shiny and glossy like that for sure. Yeah, because it's definitely the focal point of that level, like what the player's trying to get. So to make it look worthy of their time, I guess would be the best way to put it. Would be awesome.
Okay.
Make it beautiful.
Make it a full texture
Exactly.
set. Is that okay, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Is that understandable? Okay. That just makes sense in my head on that one.
Yep.
How many fish are you wanting in the aquarium? That's
And what kind of fish?
yes.
Andrew, you
I
want that
didn't
one or?
exact. I mean, I guess pick some fish from the examples that I gave, and I think that'll be fine. I'm not too worried about specific kinds or anything.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you also said animated. Okay. Are we wanting like a simple? It kind of just goes around the tank in a simple animation, or are we wanting them to go up and down, like kind of swim fast and slow, or we just want a simple leisurely, kind of.
Just a simple, leisurely
Okay.
one that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Let's do. Let's just do a
The up
range.
and down would be appreciated, but I'm not too worried about that overall. 4 to 10 fish is good.
Animation can be simple, but some up and down movements would be appreciated. Can I spell? Woo, we're doing okay. So,
You're doing good.
okay. So I should probably just push enter on this. And then I could have easily done this on Word, but I'm dumb. So, let's do this. Okay. If it's animated, should the pieces be together? So let's see here. So obviously this will be 2 separate pieces. What was that? So the camera, I guess, will be 2 separate. That would be 1 solid piece. Where were we talking about, Elizabeth, where it had to be 2 separate pieces?
The control panel. I was thinking of the screws because I know you had the unscrewing of the box. Did you want the panel to come off of it? I know some of the switch pieces. Do you want that to be able to move, or to be able to be moved in just general when the coding part comes? There was
Okay.
also the toilet for when the toilet is sabotaged.
Okay, so are you talking when it comes to the disable box, are you talking about like how the front panel door like swings open whenever you use
Yeah.
the screwdriver?
Mhm.
So you're wanting to know if that needs to be separate pieces? Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Um,
I think it might be
I mean,
easier if it's separated.
the door that swings open isn't gonna necessarily come. It doesn't have to like come attached from the box. It's just
Okay.
it's just gonna open. So I don't know if that's easier for you guys to do as one or two pieces.
You could do it as one and then do like a panel that just kind of swings open like we did in that one class with the big old like coffin looking piece that kind of stretches up and down and like slams up.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay, so that one's where is this?
Oh, the lights.
Together if necessary.
You mean the lights on like the boxes and stuff?
Yeah, for when they flash on and off.
Uh-huh.
It also, I think includes the camera too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did
So
you
go ahead.
did you want those lights to be like emissive or just like a color that's switching to between two different colors? Because that would be
I think
technically
emissive would be better.
okay, so that's a full texture set as well, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
That would be in the textures.
Yeah.
So to be from one color to the other.
Yeah. So where's flashing lights? Okay. He wants emissive. Okay. There's necessary animation. We know that. Yes.
Well, quick question too. So for the cameras, since I'm gonna be the one modeling the cameras, do you want them all to be the same? Do you want some different variation, or what are you feeling about the cameras?
Originally, I all the same would have been fine. If you can do different variations, that would be amazing because then we could put different kinds in different levels to make to make them more separate and easier to distinguish between them. So that would be awesome. If you can do that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I just gotta find some different references. That's all you put two in the Torello, and those are good. But I'm probably gonna find a couple more I can model. That's not too complicated, but
Should
I'll get it done.
elements of
Oh
left
yeah,
and
man,
right.
that'd be awesome.
What? Who? What'd you say,
Try to
Elizabeth?
make it. Should probably make sure that it rotates left and right, just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a necessary movement. Now that was that. I'm gonna jump off what she just stated. So out of some of the games I've played, I know it's just another. I say simple, but it's I don't know how difficult it actually would be just to animate that. I don't know about rigging very much. We've only done a couple assets of rigging. But like when it powers down, you want it to kind of like sag down,
That would be wonderful.
like to kind of
Yeah,
like
that would be
really
awesome.
exaggerate that it's shutting down. Like it doesn't have to be much of an animation, but just like kind of like maybe bobs up and down a little bit at the very end or something. Just kind of like really exaggerate it being powered down, or however whoever's animating that, could just do a simple. It just goes down and powers down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
Now
be cool.
I would assume I don't know much about coding itself, but I would assume when that's going to be triggered, like a line of it, right? Where if when you go to disable the box, it's going to trigger that, right?
Definitely gonna have to set it to where it's timed.
Yeah. Okay, so that was that question. That question. That one's been answered. How fancy do you want the fish tank to be, and how low? How low poly? They said probably low as poly as possible. I did like a quick example of like size comparison of like said fish tank.
I'm already gonna tell you that's perfect.
this
It doesn't need to be anything else.
that right there is what you're looking for.
Basically, just throw a couple textures on it and call it a day.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Fish tank. Are we talking like more like this size? I think aquarium was multiple people, if I remember correctly, right? We were gonna have multiple people do this. Am I right about this?
Well, I was thinking more of like the cylindrical one. I don't know if they want
Well,
that more of a.
Well, yes. I think you and I both agreed the cylinder one would be one easier to do and well for animation as well. But
Yeah.
just I guess it would fit the aesthetic better. Would you guys agree? Like a more cylinder aquarium?
Honestly,
I
kind of like
am
one of
fine.
each because the both the levels have different variations.
Okay.
Okay.
So adding a circular and then a rectangular.
Okay.
And just to make sure you guys know, like, I personally have no idea how difficult any of this stuff is for you guys to do. So
Well, that's
if I ask for something that's ridiculous, my bad.
no. I mean, we were kind of discussing like the aquarium itself. Like at a glance, when you said, because I misread this, fish need to be. I thought it said high quality. I about had a panic attack. So and then I reread it said not high quality. So I was like, okay, that works. If possible, allow the tank to be scaled without the fishing. So that we figured that out with ease. Just kind of messing with the settings or a couple of things in Maya, but water physics are not required, so that helps. This
Oh,
asset
God,
will be
yeah.
rid of the clothes, player unique interaction with fish and be high quality swimming in the tank. Okay, so that's not bad, but like in this situation, is that scale of like let's say we do this as like a circular tank, would that scale work?
Yeah, I'm fine with that scale.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I think it needs to be a bit bigger.
You think bigger?
I think exactly twice the size of the player.
Twice the
Maybe-
size of player.
Yeah, like
Well, like-
taller, not like wider.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's much more better. Yeah.
I can obviously scale that one down a little bit because that's
Yeah,
mean,
that's
I-
about.
Just a general question for like the artists here. Do we each want to like try to model like a simple fish and add into the aquarium, or
that
do
would
we just want
alleviate
keep
a
it
lot of the
simple?
stress. I mean, this took me, I don't know how long I was in Discord call doing this one, but
Because I really want to do that tiger fish or whatever you pulled up earlier, Joseph. But that simple little.
Find a fish to match our personalities.
Oh, that would be cool.
yeah, we could do
That'd
that.
be pretty neat.
So that's also kind of that's a yellow beam, okay. And then on the board, okay. I know I'm kind of jumping through the
Yes.
questions. The board, what type board are you looking for? Because like this one kind of hovers away from the wall, versus this one is sitting like on an actual like movable stand.
So,
I think
so
I
the
can
one
answer
we
this
have. Okay.
So you know in those lawyer shows when they pull out the whiteboard, it's basically that. Not on the wall, but it's like on a stand.
So it's like this one then.
But not a whiteboard though. Not a whiteboard.
Not a
though.
whiteboard, yeah.
So it's a pegboard.
Like more like the board that's in the picture.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Now-
and then
So, go ahead.
the photos for the boards. Are we gonna use the just general pictures of each characters when they're like towards the end?
When you say the photos on the board, do you mean like the level select photos?
Yeah.
That, and if you go down to the second picture, there's also the reference of the characters.
Okay. So if you wanted to do a picture of like the guard, like the janitor, kind of like the place has been cased, so like each one of the types of guards in the janitor, like you've done research on those, yeah, like on those people, and then like each like there should be three like main focal points on the board, like for each level, and like for the museum level, for instance. Like if there was one picture that represented the museum that the player would select to actually go into the level, like tack next to that should be like a picture of like the egg, for instance, and
that's-
stuff like that.
Because I know
The first thing would probably just be the outside.
Right.
Okay. So you don't want like a blueprint, right? On there.
If you want to do a blueprint, that would be a nice thing to have next to the level 2. It obviously doesn't have to be accurate. It doesn't have to be an accurate blueprint,
Yeah.
but a blueprint would be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, just like a little assets that don't really do anything. That'd be pretty nice. Like
Okay. So we can kind of free reign the board then.
the board is a lot more free reign. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll state what is absolutely necessary. So the object being stolen in the level. I'll put that.
Yep.
What else?
Like those little file of like the characters. And like the words don't have to be like real words, it can just be like, I don't know what you call like fake words, you know what I mean? Like where they're not like readable.
Payday usually will do like lines, like actual solid lines. Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like I did character spreadsheet. Is that understandable by everyone in here for the artist side?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And then I'm gonna put BP ? Because it's optional, and then outside picture of the.
And like you could put like a picture of like one of the cameras next to like the photo of the level, just stuff like that, just things that you would have taken pictures of if you cased the place first, that sort of thing.
Okay, and then pics of.
We should probably post this to the Discord group so that we know.
Yeah.
That they've been answered at least.
Yeah, that's for sure. Can I just do this? Copy.
So I think we kind of touched on it, but to go back to the water, like the water physics. So the broken toilet. I know there was a question about that. Where were we there?
I'm thinking a couple chunks pop out, and then like a pulling effect.
Pooling in a chunks.
Pulling in a couple chunks, yeah.
Okay.
Now, if water was spraying, is that difficult to do?
That's
That is
Niagara Systems emitter.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that's
Elizabeth, do you need my help with that?
I have to draw like little items.
that would be like a Trinity
Well,
question, right? Because you're doing
no.
VFX.
Yeah.
Can we do water VFX?
We can. I have Unreal open. I can probably just check, to be honest.
Okay. Who was doing this? Elizabeth. Does that answer all your questions about the toilet, Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, there's a
I
fountain.
just have to come out.
Okay, so what do you want me to put down for toilet? You said couple pieces.
No, yeah, a couple pieces of items that have to come out of the toilet.
Yeah, just a couple.
And then
So would the plunger, not plunger, what is it called? That little
Scrub brush?
No, the little plastic piece inside the tank. What's it called? Oh my god. Anywho, like disassembling maybe the inside the tank. Would that be easy, Elizabeth? Could you do that, or because we could just pull out?
I'd have to get some reference images.
Hey, look at there. It just knew. Oh, that's worrisome, but okay. So the float, I guess, is technically something you could pull out, or like maybe the valve where it's just constantly running water, but that wouldn't really cause it to spray though. So
destroy the toilet.
Okay.
Yeah, any
Like,
level
if
of
you took a sledgehammer
destruction
to
is fine. Yeah, just as long as it looks destroyed, and then there's water that shows that it has been destroyed. So any level of that is good.
So wait, would Elizabeth have to like animate that, like the toilet like being destroyed?
So there's a thing in Unreal that you can do. We did it in one of the classes with the robot walking. You can actually have Unreal destroy.
Oh yeah.
You can have the Unreal actually destroy your asset for you.
Fracturing. It's called fracturing. Just
Thank you.
mention. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, you all are really on top of it. I don't know the words though. pretty sure that's how you
I'll
spell
have to
it.
rewatch the video and check that out again.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Just to I'm doing it right.
You got cut off, Elizabeth.
Oh, I was saying I'd have to check out the video from the past to make sure that I'm doing it right, so I don't accidentally cause a problem because that's something I struggled with.
Um,
Yeah.
let's see here, and then camera disable box number pad system on that camera disable box. She had a question. I think you said you were curious if you wanted to do like an actual number pad system on it, or you just want to do switches.
Yeah, because I was like, the hacking system for the UI, I was like very unclear. I was like, are those switches? Are they like a
So
number?
right. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to think of like a image. Okay, so have you ever seen like we're talking about strictly the UI, right? That pops on the
Yeah.
screen. Okay, so have you ever seen like in a movie or whatever, whenever they're hacking something and it's just like running numbers and then it like locks in a number, then locks in a number, kind of like on like a little electronic device?
Matrix.
Is that making any sense?
No, I
Like
was just
think like a
wondering.
handheld
I got you, my
electronic
dad.
device with
Okay,
like a
okay. Kind of.
screen that's like just cycling through numbers and then it like locks them in one at a time. That's kind of what I was thinking.
So if I go to Google here,
Kind of reminds me of what was it? I forgot. It's an old movie, but I see National Treasure.
What am I
It could have been a national
There you go.
treasure. Is National Treasure really that old though?
yes. I don't know how. I don't know the average age in this call, but I'm 26, and it was quite a few years old when I was watching it. When I was in, I don't know, 7, 8 years old. So it's quite old now. Yes. Let's see here. When was National Treasure released? 2004. It is now officially over 20 years old.
I was almost 2.
Is that Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know about that one, man. Nicolas
Oh,
Cage
jeez.
reputation in movies, man. Like the only decent one, in my opinion, was Ghost Rider. Besides that, I don't know. He's been in some weird
I think
movies.
they're
Face Off, man. Face Off was amazing.
So that tells me your age, Chris.
Now that is old. Don't get me wrong. That's an old movie too.
That tells me your age there, because I know
But
that movie.
to be fair, Nicolas Cage hasn't made anything in a while. So
That's
True.
yeah.
It's getting time for me to log out soon.
Yeah, I'm heading to work now as we speak.
Okay, so
Oof.
that answers quite a few questions. I can maybe find a reference of like the sliding numbers to unlock something.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look too, and I'm gonna when I find it, I'll drop it in there. I'll find some pictures.
Okay.
What
I
about
was-
the UI, Joseph? I remember you guys will have some questions about that.
Oh yeah. So what aesthetic do you want for the UI? We pulled up like maybe because we were looking at a bunch of different games that and they pretty much all did squares. We were kind of wondering if you would like to do maybe like a diamond for like the slider, kind of make it a little bit different so it's not so and maybe a wrench for like some of the buttons you have to click on. So I just we don't know. It was just an idea.
Drew, do you have an idea? That I honestly haven't really thought about that a lot.
Are we
As
talking
far
about
as
the
that,
hacking mini game still? Because I was thinking we could have the numbers slide into the slot, and then we just click it on the different colored thing.
Okay.
well, I think they're talking about like just the UI in general, like menu buttons and stuff. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, a good reference for that I think would be Welcome to the Game.
Oh, welcome to the game is good. I like that one.
Yeah, 1 or 2 is fine. I think 2 had the better UI, but that's personally my opinion.
It's easy. It's a lot easier. The overall look.
It's simplistic, but it's also like very hacker-esque. I don't know how else to explain it.
Oh, that's what you. Okay, I got you. Markiplier played the first game. I remember that one.
I
Sorry.
remember
Doesn't
the dev got in trouble because it had spyware for a little bit.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he would go to live streams and mess with the people.
Oh, of course he would. Lovely people. Yes. Playing a hacker game and people are getting hacked.
Yeah. After the first lawsuit, he got rid of the spyware, so it's safe to play now.
Okay,
So
so
I'll take
you
your
want
word
it
for
based
it.
off of this game, so to speak, right?
so something just simple as that. Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so we'll put for
example. Welcome to the game.
Yeah.
two specifically is what they said. So we'll do that.
I think that's it.
Okay. So that's answered. That's
Well, are we
answered.
still gonna do our call on Friday, or is this gonna be our weekly meeting?
We
Well,
can.
we're still missing one person, but I don't think he'll actually join the Friday meeting. So
I think Friday would still be a good time to do like a follow-up meeting just to make sure that all the questions are answered in case he'll come up with anything more, and that way Kyle can put in his input because I know he is at work right now
Okay.
or sleeping, one of the two.
Yeah, I was thinking like we could just do this as like the first meeting. One, for us, all of us kind of meeting and hearing each other's voices first time, and two, we can just do an actual stand-up meeting with all the team members if possible.
Yes.
I will always be available after about 5 p.m. Central. Some days
Schedule's
it's
usually-
Same.
so. Weekends, I work this weekend. This is rare, but I work this weekend. So most weekends I'm full Saturday and Sunday. So like it's not that big of an issue if you guys need help or anything or have any questions. You can always hit me up on Discord.
I do want to mention that my schedule changes. On the days we don't have meetings, I'll be available from 6 to 12 a.m. 12 p.m. Sorry,
6 to 12
6
p.m.
a.m. to 12 p.m.
6 a.m. to 12 p.m.
But the days we have meetings, I will not be available until a little later because I have to go to sleep in order to wake up for the meetings.
Gotcha. Okay. It
Yeah.
sounds like you are currently walking very fast.
I
to
am.
your
I'm
job.
almost at Walmart.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I gotta
okay.
go.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
All right.
Take care.
So this is the answer for that, and then
And just FYI, like, so no one's really told us as far as like the process or like the timetable for any of this. So as far as like you guys make something and then show us and we say, yeah, you're on the right track, or can we change this? So like I don't really know. I guess the next like milestone or whatever for this whole process. They didn't really tell us that.
according to the teacher, we're supposed to get critiques from the interns, and then herself, I think, as well, and then we're supposed to send it over to you.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, you guys are the last ones
And
to see it and approve it.
We can, if you want to
Well,
see
that's
it
fair.
before. If you want to see it before we get critiques, that's also fine, and then we can kind of edit to how you want it, and then we can get critiques from them, and then we can just kind of polish it from there and send it to you. If you're wanting to see it before we get
whichever,
critiques.
honestly, whichever way works for you guys. And I mean, I know you guys have a way that your director wants you to do it and stuff. So whatever works the best for you guys. Like I just didn't know if like you guys were gonna like just like show us as they were done, or if it was just like okay, like week 2 you show us like everything, or that's that sort of thing.
I mean, I'm down for anything. If you want to see it kind of in progress to kind of give like a feedback of what you're kind of like, if we're going in the right mindset, because I think you said you're the level designer, right?
Yeah,
Level designer, right?
One of
So,
well, we all do, but
so
yeah,
like
no,
you can,
that's fine.
yeah, you can. If you want to see it, you can always add us. Kind of hey, where you at, and then we can just kind of like share a screen or just send you screenshots of our screen and show you what's going on. And then when we critique it with our intern and director, we can just send it over to you after that because that's what we're technically supposed to do. So,
Okay, that sounds perfect.
okay, I'm gonna stop the recording. Is there anything else we need to say before I stop the recording?
I think so.
So yeah, for the aquarium and the selection board, I guess we as an artist, as a team, we're all working on that together. Is that
That's
correct?
what it sounds like. Yeah. So,
Okay.
um, we can
I
kind of
go
put
find my fishies.
we
Please
just
do.
we can just put everyone on the board for now. I think the director's gonna. Oh man, they're not
Hopefully
gonna.
that's allowed.
We'll see. But I think we all said we're gonna do our own fish and just kind of send it in, so that way one it kind of alleviates some pressure from every single person. But again, that also gets to the point to where who's gonna animate, right? Are we all gonna do separate animations, or are we gonna do uh, you know,
It would be cute if we all did our own separate animations because if it's a certain fish and they have their own quirks.
it'd be a little bit more simpler.
If we have time, I'm saying like this is a lot for me personally, but I'm saying if we have time, yeah, I say go for it. But if not, I just say just keep it simple, you know.
Okay, so we'll
But if you have
sign it.
time to go for it,
So these two items we'll assign everyone to, because right now we're not really for sure exactly who's going to be doing the base model. I'm gonna do characters. We're gonna see how well this goes. I'll definitely have more questions about characters once. I think what was that guy's name? Patrick, right? Patrick said he was gonna do the model, and V, you said you were gonna get the base model, and I think I might do the same. So that way, at least the characters have a similar proportion, and we can just kind of edit and critique, or not critique, but adjust to each character to make it more
so yeah,
unique.
quick question. It might be a dumb one too. So I guess character one is that the main character that you want us
This
to do?
Yes, that's well, hold on. Yep, that's the main character. I just put two similar looking guys to kind of give you like the aesthetic. I think that Andrew and Kyle wanted to go with like the blonde hair, but they didn't like that eye gadget. But like the main thing about the main character is like the kind of like the simplistic tactical clothes, not like hard body armor or anything, but just like a little more than just like regular clothes, like there's some kind of tacticalness to his outfit, and then like some sort of a flashlight on his chest because the character in the game does have a flashlight that emits from his chest, so that would be necessary.
Another question too about the character. So I'm doing the elite character, like I guess the
Mm.
guard. Do you want them to all look the same, like Agent Smith from like the Matrix, or you want them looking a little bit different? What's your preference on that?
They can look a little different. Mostly, I just wanted distinguishing between the regular guard and like the elite guard, and I just want the elite guard to look like a next level guard. Like the regular everyday guard, and then like the we do this for for a living guard type of thing.
Hmm.
So the Agent Smith thing, that was just like a reference, like like very like stern, no, no, all business, type of agent, more or less.
so one wearing a
But
suit.
they don't have to look exactly the same.
So like
I
one,
don't
That
want to
could,
mess with them.
yeah. So like one wearing a suit just has different face or hair or whatever, and then the base guard would just be like this.
Right, just like an everyday type guard.
Would you prefer this type of cap, or would you prefer unzoom? Thank you. Or this type of cap?
I'd actually prefer the first one.
Yay! So this one,
Yeah.
that's what I was shooting for. Let's go. Okay, that that works perfectly fine for me. Okay, I will state, some of the tutorials I got for low poly is going to be pretty darn low poly. So I am gonna have to get a lot of critique from my director and interns, so I can actually kind of adjust to see how well I need to go up or down in poly count or whatnot. This will be the first time
And
I've
like
made a
to be
character, so I will forewarn you. I'm going to do my absolute best. I'm going to get as much help as I can from the director and interns and fellow artists. But I think a lot of us, it'd be a first time doing characters for at least low poly
Oh,
like this.
that's understandable. And like I said, as far as like our design program, like we didn't really go over like poly count and like all that sort of thing. Like we went over like what it was, but not in depth.
Okay.
So I can
Um,
tell you more what's important, what's less important, and then if you could use that information to determine poly count, that would be probably
how big is your
Yeah.
the
file
easiest
right
way.
now?
We're a little over a gig, I think.
Okay, so not okay. So after we add all these assets, it's probably going to be a decent size then. Okay. Okay, so that works with that, and then we'll have more questions once I do block out characters, and we'll go from there. Okay. I think that kind of concludes my questions for the initial part. I won't probably start blocking out stuff until tomorrow because it's already 9:17 p.m. and I do work early in the morning. Is there any other questions, Elizabeth, Trinity, or V?
Nope.
Okay,
Mm.
so
Nope.
I'm gonna pause or stop the recording now. It's been 55 minutes recording, so Patrick's gonna have at least a decent video to kind of overlook and watch. So